What's up, gang? This is Ian, your very friendly neighborhood Viking, coming back at you with another Motivational Monday video. This week, I'm going to talk to you why, with streaming, the glass may seem like it's half empty, it also might seem like it's half full, but I'm pretty sure this is just piss. Before we get into that, I need you to go ahead and hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, turn your notifications on so you're getting all the notifications for every time we put a new video out to you guys every single week. Okay, so you guys might have seen the thing that, what's the guy's name, Daniel Ek or something like that, the head of Spotify, he put something out recently that pissed a lot of people off, and it's about how, I don't know if I'm gonna quote it here, but you can't just put music out every 3 to 4 years and expect to make it or something like that. Basically, it was a kick in the balls to all of us that put music out and don't get any money from Spotify. Now, this goes pretty much all the way across every single streaming platform. It has wiped out so many bands. Now, there's a lot of bands that are able to stream and found out a good way to make money with it. I'm not saying it's impossible, I'm saying it's really, really difficult, because Spotify only pays band about 0.0006 cents per stream. So if you're trying to make money off of Spotify, to basically make, hit the poverty line in the States, it's about 3 million streams a month or so. That's a lot. Don't quote me on those exact numbers, but yeah, in short story, we're getting fucked on the deal. Now, obviously, it's hard for bands that are no names or low levels or aren't represented by, management companies or record labels or anything like that. It's hard for us to get traction because we are responsible for getting ourselves out there, and Spotify and other streaming sites are how they do that. People don't want to take a risk on something they may or may not like, so they use things like Spotify or insert streaming site here. They use those to preview or really just rip off bands. I use Spotify Premium. I pay for everything that I can when I can use it. So if you want to call me a hypocrite now, that's fine. I know that we don't make anything off of Spotify, and I know that we don't make anything off of any of the other streaming sites, honestly. We have a direct line where you can download our record, and that's about the only place that we make any kind of money off it, and it isn't hardly anything at all. It's definitely nothing to live off of. It's maybe a couple of bucks to supplement buying more at some point, but that's really about it. When all of the streaming stuff came around, it really kicked everybody really hard right in the balls. We all know how it went, with Napster and, and LimeWire and FrostWire and on down the line. We all know the story of streaming and what it's done to the music industry. Basically collapsed everything and made it possible, in one hand, to get everybody's stuff out there because anybody can put anything out, but it's also made it very, very difficult for you to make really any money on it whatsoever. So there are pros and cons to it. Now, I've brought up money and streaming problems before in a previous video because, like I said, Spotify pays you 0.0006 cents for every stream, which is virtually nothing. I think YouTube is even less. I can't remember who goes in order, but there is a video that I put out before talking about it, and I'll leave the link to that video in the description for you guys, in case you want to check it out. With the streaming stuff, like I said, exposure is why most bands do it. We all go into this knowing that we're not going to make any money, but we do it with the hopes that people will stream our stuff enough and it'll boost our numbers, or maybe they'll say, you know what, maybe I will do the right thing and I'll go to these people's website or wherever and I'll actually purchase it. More than likely, that's not the case. Most people will just take whatever they can get for free. It's the way of the world. We all do it. You know what I mean? I'm not going to act like I don't do it too, because like I said, I use Spotify Premium, and we all do that. So let's not bullshit anybody here. With bands these days, we're not trying to rely on it as much because we know the game is rigged. Really, at least that's how I look at it. I know that, if you're going to put all your cards into something like this, especially when you're a lower level band, you're probably going to lose, and you're going to lose big. So there's a lot of strategy that needs to go into how you're going to do this. Now, there are plenty of tutorials and strategy guides out there that will help you boost your streaming and all that stuff like that. And there's a lot of those you can find and you can pay for, and they do help because those are hopefully all tested and proven theories and methods and all that stuff. So if you're looking to do something like that, I highly advise you looking into it. For us, and from my knowledge and from my experience, knowing your markets, your demographic, and how to properly promote is probably the most important things. Also, learning social media platform algorithms is probably the second most important thing because they do not play well with each other. If you put an external link into any social media post, it will automatically get thrown on the bottom of the pile because they don't want that. They don't want you to leave. If I put a Spotify link or a YouTube link in a Facebook post, it's already going to get clipped because they want you to stay on Facebook. Keep that in mind when you're putting out videos. You know, if you're putting out a YouTube video and you only have like 50 subscribers, it's not going to get as many views unless it's just one of those crazy things that goes viral. They're going to lowball it because they don't want them to leave Facebook. So if you're doing like videos, make sure they go on Facebook as well as YouTube. I put these same videos on Facebook and YouTube every week. And on Facebook, they do thousands and thousands of views, which is great. On YouTube, I get like 8 views, and I'm not even kidding. So, you know, that has to build and climb over that initial YouTube hill, which is, you know, a very steep hill right at first. But the point of all of what I'm saying is that you have to find out the best ways to cross promote because those algorithms don't play well with each other. If you're gonna try to promote your music, definitely look into the best ways that you can get it out there. Taking advantage of certain things, probably like Snapchat and TikTok and things like that. Those will probably help because TikTok is huge right now. Definitely get on that train if you're not already. I'm a little bit behind on the TikTok thing because I'm a little older, so I kind of I don't get it as much. Plus I'm busy with everything else. That's something that I need to hop on and I need to figure it out. I know our music is on TikTok, so you can make TikTok videos and use our music with them, which would be super cool if anybody did that. Definitely figure that one out too. Now, everybody here has bitched for years about all this streaming stuff and what ifs and what are we gonna do and we should rise up and we should tell all these streaming sites to go fuck themselves. And you're right. Yeah, we should, but nobody's doing it. I'm not doing it either. There has to be that one kind of like a leader to make that step and say, hey, I'm done. But that's gonna be hard for somebody who's like my size that doesn't have that kind of sway in the music industry. People aren't gonna listen to me. Probably not that many, but you know, somebody that's huge like Drake, you know, I know seems a little weird because, you know, this is mostly like metal stuff and whatnot, but there's something that came up with him recently where he said he might just drop a label and be completely independent. Like him or not, Drake is the king of streaming. He's got more number ones than anybody. He is on top of the world when it comes to streaming and all that stuff right now. So if he's talking about ditching a major label and going independent, I guarantee Universal, or who I think that's his label, is probably shitting their pants right now because that feels like it's probably gonna crash the industry again. And with somebody as big as that guy, it's worth looking into, at least. Is it gonna entirely sink the music industry? No, but will it change some things? Probably. With lots of other bands for the last few years going completely independent, because you're not making money from the labels that much. You're not making anything from streaming because then the label's taking a piece of that. You know what I mean? Like, what's left? That's why a lot of bands have quit. That's why a lot of bands have stopped touring and stopped doing shows because there's no money anymore. You know, people don't want to pay for anything. They want everything they can get for free, most of them at least. If people try to get everything for free and then you got Spotify or Apple Music or YouTube or whoever else taking a big white bite out of your ass, plus your label on top of it, plus management, plus everybody else, you end up way in the hole. When there's already no money, that's a hole that you don't want to be in. Right now, this entire situation, it's not sustainable over too much longer, I'd assume. Now, this is just my opinion. We can't do this shit forever. There's gonna be a breaking point at some time. That's how it was with, you know, labels before the streaming stuff started. There was a stronghold on all of that stuff, you know, with labels holding your masters hostage, which you signed that right when you gave them, you know, the right to own those masters and stuff like that. but they basically took all the money. And yeah, huge artists were still making bank, but like also it's their music, they should be making all of that money. Now, in a book that I read quite some years ago, I do believe it was for independent artists on average, they make about 16% of the total profit from like a record sale on an independent label. If you're talking a major label, you're getting more like 7 or 8%. Now, that is gut-wrenching when you think about it. Your music, you spent your entire life, you know, being good at your instrument or learning all your stuff, and you poured your heart out and to write these songs and to get them all out there for everybody in the world to see, and the label goes, we'll give you 7%. That's a tough one to swallow. That's why I'm totally cool with everybody doing everything independent. It's a lot of work. It's a lot more work, but also it's your money. If anybody earned it, you did. You should be able to have that because you earned it. It's all of yours. It's your work. It's your music. It's your effort. It's your promotion. All of that. And all of that money going out, granted you have to pay for certain sites and things like that you use, but all that money going out should go right back to you, nobody else. That's just my opinion at least. You know, call me whatever you want, and I just think that if you work for it, you should get it. With all of this stuff, we go back to the importance of supporting local artists. Honestly, any artist on any lower tier level, support them, buy their merch, buy their records, share their stuff. $10 or whatever for a digital copy or whatever, a copy of a CD, you know, to those people like still printing CDs and everything, like that's not much. And we appreciate it so much. I mean, we worked so hard to get this music out and to people. The least that we are asking is a couple bucks to pay to listen to it. You know what I mean? We're not trying to be millionaires off it. We would all love to be, but we understand that's not the way of the world right now. So if anybody could just wet our beak a little bit with a couple bucks, pay for the record, I mean, hey, we're happy about that. I'm telling you now, this streaming stuff and the way that everything is working, it's gonna hit a breaking point. We've already seen it with people like Taylor Swift, you know, and Garth Brooks and people like Jay-Z, you know, lots of those people, huge names telling labels, hey, I'm fucking done with you people and I'm sick of getting screwed over. And we've seen this with countless other bands that we love just quitting the music industry whatsoever because they're not making any money. And that's, like I said, this is not sustainable in the long run. So something's got to change at some point. And I'm all for, you know, being able to like set your own website up and maybe giving people on Spotify, give them like previews. You get 30 seconds or something like that, or maybe like a minute or something like that of a preview. And then if you want it, you got to buy it. I'm with that. I think that's a great idea. I understand that's a very tough hill to climb, and we'll see how that goes. I will 100% support all of the bands and anybody that I know who's, you know, practicing musician and stuff like that. I support you guys 100% as much as I possibly can. I'm not going to sit here and lie and say that I'm going to go out and buy every single band's, you know, record and whatnot like that. I'm just saying that as long as I can and as much as I can, I will support you guys. So I hope that you guys do the same to us, and we appreciate it so much. What do you guys think? How do you feel about this entire streaming thing? What do you think's going to happen in the next, you know, 1 year, 2 year, 5 years, 10 years? Like, do you think it's going to stay this way? Do you think it's going to change? Do you think the entire industry is just going to collapse? Because it's on pretty wobbly knees right now. I think that something big is going to happen, and it's going to happen in the next few years. That's just me. Let me know in the comments, and I would love to hear what you guys' opinion is on this, and yeah, just let me know. If you liked this video and if you like all of the stuff that we're trying to do, please think about subscribing. I hope you guys have an amazing Monday. I hope you have a fantastic rest of the week. Thank you guys very much for tuning in, and I'll see you next time. Later.